Level 1. The moment you touched what wasn't yours. 3 weeks ago, you were nobody. You worked a mid-level contractor job for a defense logistics firm in Arlington, Virginia. 9th floor. Badge access only. You processed shipment coordinates, military supply routes mostly. Boring. Routine. Tuesday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Then, on a Thursday night, your senior analyst, Marcus Webb, left his workstation unlocked. You weren't snooping. You were dropping a file, but the document already open on his screen. You read the header before you could stop yourself. Operation Sandline, Level 5 classified. Authorized eyes only. Maybe 5. 4 lines about a covert weapons diversion program. Names, countries, dollar amounts that don't belong in any budget you've ever seen. $340 million routed through a shell company registered in Valletta, Malta. You walk away. You say nothing. You go home. You think that's the end of it. Inside your chest, something shifts. A small cold thing. You don't have a name for it yet. Later, you will call it the mistake. But right now, on the metro ride home through Rosslyn Station, you just feel vaguely sick. You eat dinner, you watch TV, you sleep. What you don't know, what you can't know, is that Marcus Webb's workstation logged your proximity. A passive RFID scanner in the ceiling registered your badge within 1.2 meters of the screen for 11 seconds. 11 seconds. That's all it takes. Somewhere in a building you've never been to, on a street you've never walked down, a name gets added to a list. Your name. Level 2. The city starts watching you back. You notice it first on a Monday. The same blue Honda Accord is parked outside your apartment building on North Quinn Street when you leave at 7:50 a.m. It's there when you come back at 6:30 p.m. Different driver, same car. You tell yourself, coincidence. On Wednesday, your work laptop runs a forced update at 2 a.m. You only know because your phone, connected to the same Wi-Fi, gets a notification. You don't touch the laptop. You sit in the dark of your bedroom in Arlington and stare at the ceiling. On Friday, Marcus Webb doesn't come in. HR says he's on leave. No details. His desk is cleared by noon. By 3 p.m., a woman you've never seen before is sitting in his chair, reading nothing, typing nothing, just present. She introduces herself as Diane. She smiles too easily. You smile back. You are already learning the first rule of being hunted. Never let them know you know. Your coworker, Jason, leans over at lunch and whispers, "Did you hear about Marcus? FBI came to his house." You take a bite of your sandwich. You chew slowly. "No," you say. "That's wild." That night, you don't search anything on Google. You're not stupid. You use the library computer on Columbia Pike, walk in, no login, cash for the parking meter. You search for the shell company name you remember from the document. Just the name, nothing else. It doesn't exist anymore. The registration in Malta was dissolved 11 days ago. Someone cleaned up fast. And now you understand this isn't a bureaucratic error. This isn't a misunderstanding that HR can sort out. You have seen something that powerful people have spent millions of dollars to make invisible, and they know you saw it. The cold thing in your chest has a name now. It's called fear. Level 3. Running is its own kind of confession. You make the decision on a Sunday morning. Not dramatically, not with a movie-style montage. You're standing in your kitchen in a t-shirt, holding a mug of coffee, and you think, if I go to work tomorrow, I don't come back. You don't know why you believe this, you just do. Instinct is the body remembering dangers the mind hasn't processed yet. You have $4,200 in cash, savings you've been building for a vacation you never took. You have a passport, you have a single carry-on bag, you leave your phone on the kitchen counter, battery in, powered on, playing a Spotify playlist on shuffle. Let them think you're home. You take the Silver Line Metro to Wheel Reston East, then an Uber, paid in cash, booked from a burner phone you bought at a 7-Eleven on Lee Highway 2 days ago, to Dulles International. You buy a ticket at the counter. Cash. Istanbul. Not because you have a plan there, but because Istanbul is a city where a person can become no one very quickly. You know this from a documentary you watched 2 years ago. Strange, the things that save you. Gate B14. The man in the gray jacket. Now you understand why he's watching you. You don't run. Running is a confession. Instead, you walk to the men's restroom near Gate B11, splash water on your face, and look at yourself in the mirror. The person looking back at you is not the person who went to work on a Thursday 3 weeks ago. That person believed in routine, in badge access, in Tuesday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. That systems built on secrets have an immune response, and you are the infection they are trying to eliminate. Your flight boards in 14 minutes. The man in the gray jacket is now standing closer to the gate. You have one move. You walk out of the bathroom, past him, close enough to smell his aftershave, and you hand your boarding pass to the gate agent without looking back. You sit in seat 24C, middle C, intentional. Harder to observe from the aisle when the plane lifts off the runway and the lights of Washington, D.C. shrink beneath you. You exhale for what feels like the first time in 3 weeks. You are not safe, but you are moving. And for now, that's the only power you have. Level 4. The city of 1,000 eyes. Istanbul doesn't sleep. You land at Istanbul Airport at 6:47 a.m. local time. The sky is the color of a bruise, purple bleeding into gray. The Black Sea's somewhere beyond the horizon. You have $3,100 left. Your bag weighs 7 kilograms. You know nobody here. This is exactly exactly why you came. You clear customs without issue. Your passport is clean. You've done nothing illegal yet. That word sits in the back of your throat like a stone. Yet. You take the Havaiest bus into the city. Cheaper than a taxi, harder to track. You get off at Taksim Square and walk. Just walk. Let the city absorb you. Street vendors selling simit bread, the smell of diesel and salt water. You find a small hotel on Meshrutiet Kadesi in Beyoğlu. Cash only, no reservation, a room the size of a closet. $35 a night. The owner doesn't ask questions. In cities like Istanbul, the economy of silence is centuries old. You sit on the edge of the bed and breathe. Then you make your first mistake. Not out of stupidity, out of loneliness. You email your sister. One line from a new Gmail account created on the hotel's lobby computer. I'm okay, don't worry. You delete the account immediately after. But the CIA doesn't need the account. They need the IP address of the server that pinged Gmail's authentication portal at 7:23 a.m. Istanbul time. And they have it within 4 minutes. You don't know this yet. What you do know is that you're hungry. So you go downstairs, walk 3 blocks to a small kahvaltı place on Sofiali Sokak and order eggs, olives, white cheese, tea. The man at the corner table is reading a newspaper, Turkish Daily. He's been on the same page for 20 minutes. You notice because you are learning to notice everything. His tea is untouched and cold. He knows you're looking. He folds the newspaper. He stands. He walks past your table and drops something beside your plate without breaking stride. A matchbook. On the inside cover, in small, precise handwriting, Karakoy Dock, Warehouse 7, 9 p.m. Come alone. I know what you saw in Arlington. Your eggs go cold. Your mind races through every possibility. Trap, coincidence, asset, ghost. But underneath the fear, underneath the calculation, there is something else. Level 5. The first alliance is always a devil's handshake. Warehouse 7 at Karakoy Docks smells like rust and diesel and the cold breath of the Bosphorus at night. You arrive at 8:52 p.m. 8 minutes early, you walk the perimeter first. An instinct you didn't know you had until tonight. One entrance, 2 windows, both dark. A shipping container marked Medlog in faded red letters. Seagulls somewhere above. At exactly 9 p.m., a light comes on inside. You go in. The man from the cafe is sitting on a wooden crate. Up close, he looks less like a reader and more like what he actually is. Former intelligence, ex-something, the kind of person who exists in the gap between official records and reality. He tells you his name is Vasil. He's Bulgarian. He spent 11 years working signals intelligence for a private contractor that officially doesn't exist, operating out of * Nicosia, Cyprus. He was burned by the same network you accidentally stumbled into. Operation Sandline isn't a weapons diversion program. That's just the surface layer. Underneath, it's a $2.1 billion infrastructure, a systematic process of manufacturing conflicts in specific regions to firms controlled by 7 men whose names never appear in any public record. The shell company in Malta you saw? One of 43, spread across Valletta, Panama City, Dubai, Singapore, and Limassol. Marcus Webb wasn't just an analyst. He was a courier. He moved financial documents disguised as logistics data. When he got nervous, when he saw too much, they didn't arrest him. They simply made him available for arrest. Planted evidence. Let the FBI do the clean work. You listen to all of this in silence. Then you ask the only question that matters. Why are you telling me this? Vasil looks at you for a long moment. Because you have something I don't, he says. You are nobody. No history in any intelligence database. No known affiliations. No prior surveillance file. He pauses. You are invisible. And invisibility right now is worth more than money. He slides a phone across the floor toward you. Encrypted. Preloaded. There is a man in Thessaloniki, he says. A forensic accountant named Elias Papadimitriou. He has been building a case file against Sandline for 3 years. He needs one document. A routing ledger from the Malta company. That ledger exists in physical forms. I cannot get near Brussels. They know my face. He looks at you. They do not know yours. Yet. That word again. Yet. You pick up the phone. In this moment, this exact moment, you cross a line. Not into criminality. Not into heroism. Into something harder to define and impossible to uncross. You become useful to dangerous people. And useful people, in ecosystems like this one, don't get to leave. The cold thing in your chest doesn't feel like fear anymore. It feels like purpose. That's how they get you. Not with threats, with meaning. Level 6. Brussels doesn't forgive amateurs. You fly into Brussels Airport on a Tuesday, 11 days after Istanbul. Different passport. Vasil arranged it. You don't ask how. The name on it is Daniel Förster, German national, freelance architect. The passport is real. Genuinely issued, genuinely registered, which means someone inside a government office somewhere made it exist. Cabinet, Moreau and Associates. 14th floor of a glass building 3 blocks from the European Parliament. The routing ledger is held in a physical file room. No digital copy. Intentional. Accessible only with a key card and a 4-digit code. Vasil got you the code through a contact he won't name. 3,847. You've repeated it in your head so many times it has lost all meaning and become just sound. The key card is the problem. The key card belongs to a junior associate named Camille Renard who arrives at the building every morning at 8:15 a.m., stops at the Paul Bakery on Rue de Trône for a café crème and a croissant, and keeps keeps her badge clipped to the outside of her bag. You feel sick about what you're about to do. That's important. Remember that you still feel sick. That feeling is the last clean thing inside you. You sit 2 tables from her at the bakery on Wednesday morning. You're reading an architecture magazine. Daniel Furster would read architecture magazines. She's on her phone, distracted, scrolling. You bump her bag, reaching for a sugar packet. The badge unclips. Your hand closes around it for exactly 4 seconds before attaching it to the underside of the table. She doesn't notice. You leave. You circle the block. You come back. You retrieve the badge. By 9:40 a.m., you are in the stairwell of Cabinet Moreau & Associates, 14th floor, heart pounding so hard you can feel it in your teeth. 3,847. The file room opens. Inside, rows of physical folders, alphabetical, dust on the shelves. You find the multi-file in 6 minutes. The routing ledger is 43 pages. You photograph each one with the encrypted phone Vassal gave you, hands steady in the way that only pure adrenaline can produce. You're done in 11 minutes. You replace the folder. You leave the building at 10:07 a.m. You drop the key card in a storm drain on Rue Belliard. On the metro to Brussels Midi Station, you sit and stare at your hands. They look the same as they always did. Same lines, same knuckles, same small scar on your right index finger from a kitchen accident 7 years ago. You send the photographs to the encrypted address Vassal gave you. 3 minutes later, one message comes back. Elias has the ledger. You just changed everything. Now get out of Brussels. Tonight, you look out the metro window at the gray Belgian sky. You think about the person who sat at a desk in Arlington, Virginia, processing shipping coordinates, Tuesday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. You cannot find them anymore. Not in your reflection, not in your hands, not in the way your eyes now automatically scan every face in every carriage for threats. That person is gone. And the one who replaced them? You're still big. You're still figuring out what they're capable of. Level 7. The hunted learns to hunt. You are in Thessaloniki when Elias Papadimitriou is killed. A Tuesday morning. The kind of gray, unremarkable morning that has no business being the backdrop for something permanent. You're sitting in a taverna on Aristoteles Square, drinking coffee you can't taste anymore, watching pigeons on the cobblestones when the encrypted phone vibrates. One message, no sender ID. Apartment on Ignatia Street. 1 hour ago. They made it look like a heart attack. The ledger is gone. You set the coffee down. You don't feel shocked. That's the thing that frightens you most. The complete absence of shock. Somewhere between Arlington and Brussels, your nervous system recalibrated itself, reorganized its thresholds. What would have destroyed you 4 months ago now lands like cold information. Processing, adapting, continuing. This is what psychological erosion looks like from the inside. Not dramatic, not cinematic, just a quiet, clinical numbness where feeling used to live. You sit for 11 minutes. Then you stand up, leave €4 on the table, and walk. Because here is what you understand now. What the system has taught you without a single lesson. The ledger being gone doesn't matter. You photographed 43 pages on an encrypted phone. Those images exist, and the people hunting you don't know that Elias wasn't your only contact. They don't know about the second backup, a compressed encrypted file you uploaded to a private server in Reykjavik, Iceland. Access code known only to you the night before you left Brussels. Asterisk Mauer Hendrik Joseph. Born 1964, Munich. 5'11". Gray hair, close cropped. A diagonal scar across his right palm from a field incident in Sarajevo, 1995. Currently residing in a private apartment complex on Sachsenhausen riverfront, Frankfurt, the building registered under a property firm in Luxembourg. He travels with 2 close protection officers. He has a standing lunch reservation every Thursday at 12:30 p.m. at Restaurant Metropole on Goethestrasse. Grilled fish, Riesling, always the same table, back to the wall, facing the door. Asterisk, you memorize every detail. Because here is the thing about becoming the person this system forced you to become. You are not going to Frankfurt to confront him. You are going to Frankfurt to photograph him, to document him, to connect his living, breathing, traceable face to the 43 pages sitting fragmented across 3 encrypted servers. You are building a package. A package that, if anything happens to you, automatically delivers itself to 12 journalists across 6 countries. Der Spiegel, Le Monde, The Guardian, Al Jazeera, The New York Times, and 7 others. You book a train to Frankfurt, €67. Departing Thessaloniki, connecting through Belgrade and Vienna, 31 hours. You sit by the window as the Greek coastline disappears behind you. You think about Elias Papadimitriou, a forensic accountant who spent 3 years building a case because he believed that evidence, properly assembled, could dismantle corruption. He believed in the system's ability to correct itself. They killed him on a Tuesday morning and made it look like a heart attack. You don't believe in the system anymore. You believe in leverage, documentation, and the 72-hour dead man switch you built on a free evening in a Belgrade hotel room. That's what this place is made of you. And the darkest part, the part you can't look at directly for too long, is that you're good at it. You close your eyes as the train moves north. You don't dream. You plan. Level 8. You don't escape the system. You become it. Frankfurt on a Thursday smells like rain and car exhaust and the cold iron breath of the Main River. You've been here 4 days. You know the Goethestrasse corridor better than neighborhoods you lived in for years. Today is Thursday, 12:18 p.m. You're sitting in a cafe across across from Restaurant Metropole with a newspaper, a coffee, and the encrypted phone angled at exactly 23 degrees inside your jacket's outer pocket. Camera lens flush with the buttonhole. 12:29 p.m. The first protection officer enters the restaurant. 12:31 p.m. Hendrik Maurer steps out of a black Mercedes S-Class, license plate registered to the Luxembourg firm, exactly as Vasil said, and walks toward the entrance. You have 30 seconds of clear line of sight. You get 19 photographs. Maurer, full face, profile, the scar on his right palm as he opens the door, light catching it perfectly, as if the world decided to cooperate just this once. His protection officer, the Mercedes plate, the restaurant entrance with the street sign visible in the background. 19 photographs that place a ghost in a specific location on a specific date. You close the newspaper, you leave €6 on the table, you walk away. 3 blocks north, in a doorway on Kaiserstrasse, you upload the photographs to the Reykjavik server. You update the dead man's switch package, you send Vasil a single word, done, and then you keep walking, because this is the final truth of Level 8, the one the system never advertises, the one that only becomes visible when you've traveled the full distance from a confused contractor at Dulles Airport to whatever you are now, standing on a wet Frankfurt pavement with 19 photographs of a man who ordered people killed. There is no finish line. There is no moment where you hand over the file and walk back into your old life. That life has been formally closed. Apartment lease terminated by a management company that received an anonymous tip. Employment records sealed. Bank accounts flagged under a financial investigation you were never notified about. They didn't need to arrest you. They just deleted you. The person named on your original passport, that social security number, that Arlington address, that Tuesday to Friday existence, is a ghost now. Officially a person of interest in a financial crimes investigation. Unofficially, someone that 7 very powerful men would prefer stopped breathing. But here is what those 7 men don't know. The package exists. The dead man's switch is active. And you are the only one who can disarm it, which means you are the only one who can't be touched. Not cleanly. Not without consequences that would reach every major newsroom in the Western world within 72 hours. You have made yourself expensive to kill. That's not freedom. Don't mistake it for freedom. It's a different kind of cage. Smaller, cleaner, but a cage nonetheless. You will never go back to North Quinn Street. You will never have a job with badge access and Tuesday to Friday hours. You will never stop scanning faces in restaurants or counting exits in hotel lobbies. The system got inside you, rewired you, replaced your old operating logic with something harder and colder and devastatingly more effective. You walk to the Eisener Steg Bridge over the main river, and you stand there for a long time. The water below is dark green and fast moving. A tourist boat passes, people on the deck taking photographs of the Frankfurt skyline, laughing at something, completely unaware that the man standing on the bridge above them has spent the last 4 months becoming something they don't have a category for. You think about the 11 seconds. 11 seconds standing near Marcus Webb's unlocked workstation on a Thursday afternoon in Arlington, Virginia. 11 seconds that consumed your entire previous life and built something new from the wreckage. Something competent and dangerous and permanently altered. You wonder sometimes, in the quiet moments, in the hotel rooms, on the overnight trains, whether you would go back and look away from that screen if you could. You stand on the Eisener Steg Bridge for a long time. You don't have an answer. What you have instead is the encrypted phone, the 19 photographs, the server in Reykjavik, the dead man's switch, the 12 journalists in 6 countries. Became the one thing the system cannot process. Someone with nothing left to lose and everything left to use.